Once upon a time, in a small city, there lived a garbage collector named Alex. He lived with his wife and two children, his daughter, aged 7, and his son, aged 8. They had a tiny house, and his income was very modest. Alex didn't have any special skills to get a better job. He had grown up in a poor family and couldn't continue school because he had to help his father work in other people's gardens. That was their only source of income. Now, although Alex had a fixed job and a steady salary, it still wasn't enough to cover all their needs. But Alex was a faithful man. Despite his difficult life, his heart always whispered to him, "Don't worry, better days are coming." He always tried to be happy with the little he had. Deep inside, he carried a strong ray of hope and positivity. One night, when Alex came home tired from work, he noticed his children were still awake. They had drawn a picture of a bicycle and had waited eagerly to show it to their father. Alex smiled and said, "What a beautiful bicycle." The children beamed with joy and said, "We drew it together. Daddy, we really want a bicycle like this. Could you please buy us one? Our neighbors' kids don't let us ride theirs." Alex felt a weight on his heart. He didn't want to disappoint them, so he gently replied, "I promise I'll buy it for you. But it may take a few months to save enough money." The children shouted, "Hooray! No problem, Daddy. We'll be patient." Days passed. One night, while Alex was collecting garbage, his mind was full of thoughts. How to save enough to buy that bike. It was dark. He didn't see a ditch in front of him and suddenly fell to the ground, injuring his back. Lying there in pain, he wished for a better job. He whispered, "God, I know you hear my heart." Despite the pain, he stood up and continued working. The streets were silent, except for Alex moving through the darkness. Suddenly, he heard a voice. Sir, could you please help me?" Alex turned and saw an elderly man standing at the door of his house. The man pointed to an old sock-knitting machine in his storeroom. "Could you help me take this machine out?" he asked. "I don't need it anymore." "Of course," Alex said, curious. "But why are you giving it away?" The old man replied, "It belonged to my late wife. She used to knit socks and sell them to stores. The machine developed mechanical problems, and she asked me to get it fixed. But she fell ill and passed away before I could do it. I've decided to leave this house and move to the countryside where I grew up. I'm giving away things I no longer need." Alex felt deep sympathy for the old man. At that moment, an idea sparked in his mind. If I can fix this machine, maybe I can knit socks and sell them to buy the bicycle for my children. That night, Alex took the machine home. He didn't sleep until morning. He worked hard to fix the broken parts and finally succeeded. From that day on, he and his wife started knitting socks together. They began selling them to local stores. In just 3 weeks, Alex saved enough money to buy the bicycle. The day he brought the bike home, his children screamed with joy. Alex cried tears of gratitude and said, "Thank you, God. You heard my heart." Day by day, more orders started coming in from various shops. Alex was able to buy a second sock knitting machine. He began dreaming of the future. Maybe in 2 years, he could buy a car or move into a better house. He never gave up hope. He believed in his heart, and God showed him the way. Moral of the story: in the darkest times, positive thinking and strong faith can open doors that you never imagined. Never give up. The light you carry in your heart can lead the way. Vocabulary part: modest, having a limited or small amount, not large or expensive. Humble. Example from the story: they had a tiny house and his income was very modest. Steady, stable, regular, and not changing suddenly. Example from the story: now, although Alex had a fixed job and a steady salary, it still wasn't enough to cover all their needs. Eagerly, with great interest, excitement, or strong desire. Example from the story: they had drawn a picture of a bicycle and had waited eagerly to show it to their father. Disappoint. To make someone sad by not meeting their hopes or expectations. Example from the story: he didn't want to disappoint them, so he gently replied, "I promise I'll buy it for you." Patient. Able to wait calmly without getting angry or upset. Example from the story: the children shouted, "Hooray! No problem, Daddy. We'll be patient." Idiom. Never give up. To keep trying and not stop, even when facing difficulties. Example from the story: he never gave up hope. He believed in his heart, and God showed him the way. If you liked the story, subscribe for more interesting stories and English lessons. Like and share it with your friends.